What is the number one skill that will create cash flow for your business, put income in your pocket, and build your wealth? Because somewhere along the line, it has to be skill. It has to start with a skill set. That's because most people starting out do not have the leverage to be able to start an enterprise that runs itself, creates cash flow without their direct intervention. In other words, most people start by bootstrapping, by doing some hard work and getting their business going with cash flow. They eventually build up enough income that they have margin they can invest in automation, in team members so they can delegate work, and that's when you begin multiplying the work. If you've ever heard Myron Golden talk about the levels of income and wealth creation, the early stages are all about muscle, but there's a limit to how much muscle you can build, how much you can lift yourself, and there's a limit to how much time, because it takes both things, right? It takes muscle and time. Muscle if you're digging ditches or if you're writing copy. You're still exercising those muscles and you're still limited by time. Now, the good news is AI has made things so much easier. It's definitely possible now to build your business using AI and do it with a lot less help from other humans. It used to be that to build a certain level of business, once you get to about $1 million a year in income, you've got to have some help. You can work yourself into $1 million of income, but it's much harder to work yourself into 3 million, 5 million. I think it's almost impossible. So what do? You hire people to help you. And I think that's good. I love being able to give people jobs who want jobs. I am not a job wanting person. My job is to work myself out of a job. This is my dream. Let me just tell you what my dream is. My dream is I would like to not have to show up anywhere or do anything and still get paid. That's my dream. I share it with you. You can copy it if you want. Please do. Take it and run with it, because it means you'll be creating more wealth in the world. It means you'll be supplying employment to people who want jobs. You'll be giving them money to spend in the marketplace, which fuels the economy, and everybody wins. It's prospering with purpose. So I encourage you to do that. Now, how do I get to my dream job? Well, it took me a long time to figure this out. I'm sharing it with you so it doesn't have to take you so long. For a long time, I didn't understand how mistaken I was with the idea that the harder I work, the more money I make. Not true. It's true to an extent and to a point, and then it begins working against itself, working against you. Because when you reach a certain level of income and revenue and you begin continue thinking that the harder I work, the more we'll make, you begin to destroy your own self, your heart, your soul, and your physical body, and you end up in the ICU with a heart attack, or you end up in a worse place because you've let your life fall apart morally because you lost track of what's right and what's wrong. It's happened to so many. I don't need to detail it for you. You understand what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is Bill Gates doesn't make 1 billion times more money than you because he works 1 billion more hours. It's not possible. Time is still limited, even for Bill Gates, even for Jeff Bezos, even for Elon Musk. We all have the same amount. So what makes them different? They've learned the art of applying leverage. In Robert Kiyosaki's words, creating assets that then generate income. That's the goal of truly being wealthy, is having assets that create income for you. Your money is working for you, making more money. You're not continuously working for your money. Now, as I said, I'm still on that journey. I'm not ready to quit working totally now. I'm working myself out of a job. And if you want to do that, there's more than one high-level skill set you need to make this work. But there's one that is absolutely crucial, and that is the ability to communicate strategically to help grow your business. Strategic communication is communication designed to display and highlight the way you help people and to cause them to want to desire working with you and to get them to reach out to you to do so. And when you've created that positioning in the marketplace so that people are coming to you like they come to me now, because I've architected persuasion campaigns and sales pages and messaging for people like Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, Michael Hyatt, Stu McLaren, Amy Porterfield, Frank Kern, Jeff Walker, etc., etc., etc. Because of that, people seek me out. And that puts me in a position of being able to charge more for my work. Why is that an advantage to anybody other than me? It's an advantage to my customers and clients who remain my clients. Amy Porterfield still works with us to this day because She knows investing the money with our company brings her returns on her money, and she doesn't have to worry about the work being done correctly because it's done correctly. It's done with excellence. You have to start with a skill set that allows you to communicate your ability to do those things. Now, for me, it's kind of recursive because my skill set is language. My skill set, my passion, the thing I love most is words. So I became a copywriter because I love doing that. And I love self-development. I love business and marketing. So I wrote about those things. And I began writing sales copy for some of the really fancy pants people I just named. And that built a big $1 million plus business for me. And now I'm creating assets that create income, which creates more leverage for me to create more assets. Do you see it? Do you begin to see it? I hope so. It's not just copywriting that I do, just copywriting that I'm saying to you. You need to learn how to communicate strategically. Copywriting is a certain kind of writing that you can apply in any of these areas. Things like webinars and launches and email copy and lead magnets, social media, articles, ads, publicity, etc., etc., etc. Books are fantastic tools for growing your business if you write them well and you make them useful. This idea that was passed around for so long of, well, a book is a business card people don't throw away. I used to say that a lot myself. I meant it in a way that had a certain expectation that the book you were handing people with your name on it would be of a certain level of quality. Nowadays, people just get the loosest, most unfiltered, most unthought out Zoom call they've ever done. They get it transcribed, they put that into a PDF and think it's a book. That's not a book. You need to write a good book, a useful book, a book that people keep on their desk and refer to, as I hear from my clients all the time. If you want that book, go to rayedwards.com/free book. You just pay for the shipping. Write books that create clients for you. This is not a make money next week proposition. This takes a little time to develop, but you can do it and it's worth doing. And yes, I'm recommending you build a personal brand using your high value skill of copywriting. You need to learn copywriting. I know it's tempting for you to say to yourself, but yeah, now there's ChatGPT. I need to let that do the copywriting for me. It's a good start. It speeds up the process, but you've got to be the one who's the author of that information, who's architected it correctly according to the principles of persuasion, and you can infuse it with your personality and your sense of life. It's something everybody misses when it comes to personal branding. By the way, you already have a personal brand. The question is, do you want to control it, or do you want it to be just what other people have made it into for you already? Because usually that's not super flattering. Google yourself sometime in an incognito window, and don't tell me you don't know what those are. Do it. See what you find about you, and ask yourself, if my clients were looking for me and they saw that, would I be happy about it? You can control that, but you need to be able to write well first. So get some training in copywriting. You get my book at rayedwards.com/free book and get started on that road. There are other great books I recommend elsewhere on this podcast and website. You can check those out. But get the skill of copywriting ingrained in your blood, and don't think you can just outsource it to the AI. Because if you do that, you're lazy and you're going to get eaten for lunch by somebody else. As the saying is, you will not be replaced by AI, but you will be replaced by somebody using AI, unless you're using it yourself wisely. You already have a personal brand. It's whatever's on the web about you. We sometimes refer to that as your shadow brand. Do you want to make it your intentional personal brand? My answer to you is yes. Even if you don't want to own a business, even if you just have a job, your personal brand either makes you more marketable, commanding more income, or less marketable, commanding less income. Which option do you want? If you want to be more marketable and make more income, you've got to take control of your brand yourself. And the way to do that is to learn how to write for strategic influence. That's what this channel, it's what this podcast is about. It's what my upcoming book is about. It's what all of our communication is about these days. It has been for a long time. Yes, I'm known as a copywriter, but I tell people when they ask me what you do, I tell them this: I'm a communication strategist, because that's what I am. Copywriting is simply the tactical implementation of the strategy of writing for influence. That's what you need to master. That is the solution. And it starts with building your personal brand to be what you want it to be. And here's what I recommend. This is the hardest part of this podcast that you will probably dismiss and pretend you didn't hear me say it. The best personal brand to build is the real one, not the idealized, perfected, pretend, photoshopped, AI altered version of your life that looks perfect, because nobody believes that anyway. You've got to be real. If you want to truly be a category of one, be yourself for real. Now, this doesn't mean be your sloppiest, worst self. It does mean be your real self. This is how I think of it. I want to behave in my podcast, in my videos, in my appearances where I'm speaking on other people's podcasts or on their stages. I want to behave in such a way that if people saw me in my hometown at the grocery store, they would recognize the person in front of them. They would recognize my behavior, my voice, my tone of voice, my physical affect, the way I conducted myself. They'd say, yeah, that's Ray. It's the same Ray I saw at Social Media Marketing World. That's being a true, authentic brand. And some people will tell you that's foolish. You need to clean it up more. You need to show up and be you times 2 or me times 3. That's a recipe for disaster because you can't maintain that level of fake long enough for it to work on people. And it's dishonest anyway, so don't do it. Be yourself. Be your weird, quirky, unusual self. Like for me, it means be the Christian, Star Trek fan, Star Wars loving, philosophy reading, coffee drinking, weird old guy with Parkinson's disease who loves marketing. Be that guy and people will recognize you when they meet you and they will still like you because you're who they expect you to be. That's a powerful truth if you can wrap your brain around it. And I encourage you to do so. So to sum up today's podcast, which I know is a little off in the ether, but it's what I wanted to convey to you. It's what I felt convicted I needed to share with you. So that's how I'm going forward. I'll talk about the first case of writer's block I've had in a long time in my next episode. That's for next time. For this time, here's what I want you to hear. Copywriting, still the number one high value skill to have. And especially if you don't ever plan on writing copy for hire. If you're only writing copy for your personal brand, it's even more important you get this skill. And you can get it faster now thanks to AI, but you still need to learn the basics of how and why it works. I will teach you those for free, but you have to want to learn. So right now, my goal is to get you convinced I need to learn how to write for influence. And then we can talk about what you need to be writing next. That's next time. Until then, may God richly bless you in this season. May you know peace, tranquility, and may He bring you could possibly ask or dream of. Peace to you, peace to your house. Live long and prosper with purpose. See you soon.